guys. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the General Hospital. Y'all, it's because I do The Bold and the Beautiful, the Young and the Restless that, but okay. Anyways, today is Monday, September the 19th, 2022. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know what? I'm going to give it was a 7.5 for me. Let's go ahead and get started into this soap. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We see Finn and Elizabeth. So Finn and Elizabeth are Finn and Elizabeth are she's going to get help. And so she goes to the door and then she's nervous and Finn says, "You're going to do fine." And she says, "I know it's going to be okay." But she says, "Now that I've done this, starting to have second thoughts, but I know I need the help." And he says, "Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to see you afterwards." And she's like, "Okay." So Elizabeth goes in and he speaks to Kevin. And Kevin is just there to ask her what's going on. She said, "When I checked myself out, I thought everything was going to be okay, but it hasn't been." She says, "I keep having this vision." I'm not going to hold y'all long on this. "I keep having this vision of this woman and I arguing, but it feels like there's something special or important about this because it's bothering me." So he says, "Okay, let's get to it." So he makes her think back and everything, relax. And did he hypnotize her? I mean, he might have, but he sometimes these stories blend together. I'm sorry. But he makes her think back and he says, "Okay, tell me what's going on." She says, "I'm arguing with this woman about my father." And he's like, "What?" And then what happens? And she says, "I see her at the bottom of the stairwell and she's unconscious." I said, "We knew it. We knew Elizabeth had either hurt this woman or something had happened to her or whatever." So she's trying to figure out what she has done. And their session is still going. So then we see Portia and Curtis, child, and he got Portia so darn insecure because she's like, "Well, would you still be with Jordan?" And the answer is yes. The way he was answering without answering it, the answer is yes. If Jordan hadn't lied to him. Now Curtis so wrapped up in the trying to make Portia believe that he don't want Jordan, and really just wrapped up in himself. I don't know. I can't stand Curtis right now. Curtis working my nerves right now. That he doesn't even see that Portia is literally having a meltdown right in front of his face because she knows she has kept a huge secret because he's sitting there talking about trust and Jordan lied to him over the big thing. He said it's some stuff that you probably did in your past that you like, I'm gonna go to grave with that. And no, it doesn't affect anyone else, so you don't have to tell. He said, but there are also things that you've done that affect other people, and those things have to be told no matter how you feel about it, the or how someone will really react to it. They need to be told or whatever. And so she's like, "Oh my gosh," but then she gets a hit that Brando is awake, but she says Finn is going to take care of that. And so she just tells her, he just feels like with him and Jordan, they wouldn't be together, and because Jordan lied to him, it doesn't even matter. They're not going to be together. He's with her. He wants to be with her and only her. And he knows that she's the one for him. And she was like, he wouldn't go back to Jordan. And she said, "Does Jordan know that?" or whatever. Or she said something like, "Does Jordan know that?" or "Jordan feel the same way?" implying that Jordan still wants Curtis. Said, "If y'all don't leave my girl Jordan alone." So then y'all, we see Joss and Trina, and they're enjoying the last days of summer as well. They're at the Mitchell Court pool top and everything. And then we see that as they're enjoying their last days, because they talk about, just the summer. It was the best of summer. It was the worst of summer for Trina. And so then they see Dex. And when they see Dex, Jocelyn was like, "Oh, I need to give him something." So she gets up and she goes to give him his sunglasses back or whatever. Now it's important because we see the dog. They call them dog chains, right? The military chains around his neck, and they clink when he sits back. Now you got, like, this is important. So she tells him, hey, you forgot your shades or whatever, and she just tells him it's so crazy that we were both in that alley at the same time and you didn't see anything and I didn't see anything, but Brando was attacked, and he was like, yeah, it's crazy, like the timing and everything. But so anyway, she gives that to him and she goes back to with Trina. And while she was talking to Dex, she looked over his shoulder because there was a man that's been staring at her. And she goes back to Trina and she says, hey, do you see that man behind my shoulder? Don't look, but look now. And so Trina looks and she says, you're not being paranoid. He is staring at us. So then, of course, Jocelyn had to get her butt up and go and confront the man. And I said, like, I feel like y'all should teach her not to do this. Like, you can't be doing this. But anyways, this is soap opera's child, so let's move along. So she confront the man, and then Dix, of course, he get up. He like, what's going on? And she's like, this guy is staring at us. And the man was like, no, I wasn't staring at you. But anyways, they tell the man to leave, and so he leaves. But we end up finding out that the man is a security guard for Sonny, and so that's why he was. But he did a horrible job, Norman. Norman, you didn't do well, and so but Dex plays it off, and so so then Trina and Josh go sit down, and she's like, um, "Girl, this is not your mom's hotel anymore. You can't be doing that. Nina gonna get us kicked out." But anyways, Dex comes up to him and he says he told the guy to leave or something happened to him, and they're just like, "Thank you for protecting us and everything." I said, "Ooh, child, y'all just Lord." And so then we see Sasha and Brando because he's awake, and she's like so happy that he's awake, and she can't believe it. I said, "Sasha, go get a doctor." So she runs outside and Nina is there. And I said, now Gladys been here the whole time. And y'all keep saying Gladys is on her way. Well, how long is it going to take for her to come from the cafeteria? Because Sonny came in, Finn has came in, Jordan has came. Where is Gladys? I said, now, y'all don't. Sometimes when they do this writing, this don't make you, never would I expect, hovering mother hen Gladys to leave Brando's side. She would have sent Nina to the cafeteria to get her something. Not Gladys, but okay, y'all, I'm gonna go with you. But anyways, so she says I need to go and get Portia, and she says no, I'll get Portia. You stay with Brando. So anyways, we see why do I have these people? Oh, so then we come back and we see Brando, Finn, Sasha have all are in the hospital room with Portia, excuse me, with Brando. And Jordan comes in and she says, "Can I speak to Brando?" And he tells her because oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Let's back up. Jordan and Sonny were talking. And so when Jordan and Sonny are talking, he's telling her, you need to tell me what's going on. Like, we could work together. And she said, no, I told you before, we are not working together again. You do your thing and watch, you get security up for your people. And because she said, you are know too much by having been there or whatever. And he was like, but Jordan, we need to get this maniac off the street, especially if he's hurting my family. Well, and Jordan tells him when Brando wakes up, we can get more information. Well, Nina comes and she said, good news, guys, Brando is awake. So then that's when we see Brando, Sasha, Finn, and Jordan. Because Finn is examining Brando, and Jordan comes in and she tells him, can I speak to him? And he says, right now, he's not, I have to examine him and then he's all yours. And she says, okay. So when he does that, Sonny and Jordan speak again, and she asks him to not tell the public, like to not let anyone know that the hook is what attacked the person used the hook to attack Ava as well as Brandon. Now Finn come out the hospital room and he hear this or whatever, and he tells Jordan, your patient is ready for you. And she was like, okay. And so Jordan goes in and she talks to Brando, and Sasha's like, oh, I forgot to text Gladys, I'll go and get her. So Jordan talks to Brando, and she asks him like, what happened? So that's when he starts telling her, I didn't see anything. He said, I just saw a hook. And she was like, why were you in the alley? He said, because Dex had left out. And then when I saw Dex leave out, no, he didn't tell. Hold on. Sorry, guys. So he said Dex had left out, and when he saw that Dex had left out, he went run. He saw Jocelyn follow Dex right behind. So when he saw that, he went ahead and he just had a nagging feeling. So he went and followed or whatever, and that's when while he was out there, he said, and then he just saw this hook. A man came running up to him, and he saw a hook, and he said before he can even react, the hook was in him. And she said, "Did you see a face?" And he said, "No." It was a man or a woman. He said, "No." He said, "The only thing I remember," and this is when Portia comes in. He said they had a clinking sound. Like he said, like Sasha wears, he was talking about charm bracelets, but he was like, Sasha wears those bracelets and it clinks. And he said this person had on something that was making that clinking noise or whatever. He said, but I didn't see who it was because it was raining and all that. So then Portia said, okay, I need to examine my patient. So Jordan leaves. And so then Sasha and Nina talk, and Sasha's just like, I'm so happy. And she says, I was didn't know what I was going to do if I lost Brando, and now he's awake and everything is better. She said, because I lost our child, and just the thought of losing him too, I just couldn't take it. And Nina says, what I see is someone who's solid underneath it all. I know you were afraid and everything, but you are solid. And so then we see that Portia examines Brando, and she tells him everything looks good. We just don't want you to get an infection. I said, Lord, they keep talking about infections. Y'all said Brando supposed to be leaving Tuesday. I hope not, because I was all happy today. I was like, oh, so maybe he's not leaving. I don't know. But anyway, Sonny comes in, and he said, is there room for one more? And Portia said, are you up for another guest? He said, the more the merrier. And she was like, don't have too much fun and watch after him, Sonny. And he was like, okay. So Sonny says, don't scare us like that again. And Brenda was just like, you took me in, Sonny. And I'm like, why is he talking like this? But it was like, you took me in, Sonny, and you didn't have to, and you welcome me into your family, and you welcome me into your life, and everything, and you've just brought me in, and so I'll always have love for you and protect our family or whatever. And he said, plus I owe you for bringing Gladys in. And Sonny said, you owe me a lifetime for bringing Gladys back into my life or whatever. And he said, I'm up for that. And it was a sweet moment. I said, oh, Lord, please, not Brando. So then we see Alexis and Gregory. Right? I like these two. But anyways, he tells her he liked her article that she did over Brando. And she said, of course, she wasn't going to sensationalize that because she didn't want that. The family was going through enough and everything. And so he has an event he has to go speak at. And he asked her to be his date. And she said, okay, I'm not going to hold you long on it. And so then we see Finn comes up, and because he was supposed to be meeting with them or whatever, and they asked how Christina is. Well, Gregory and Alexis do talk about that, because she says, it's so crazy that instead of Brando, it could have been Christina, because she was walking through that alleyway and that it shook her up or whatever. But anyway, so Finn comes out and they tell Finn, what's the matter? You're distracted. He says, the person that attacked Brando and Ava used a hook. I said, friend, what are you doing? Yo, talkative ass. What are you doing? He said, I'm gonna let this tea I got spill. And they said, oh my gosh, because they're figuring out, well, if that's the case, then there's a serial attacker or shoot, trying to be a killer on the loose or whatever. And this is dangerous because it's more than likely that person is the same person. It's the same person who attacked them both. And so then Dex calls Sonny and he says, Norman was made. And she said, he was like, of course he was, because Jocelyn is just like her mama. she gonna realize something weird is going on. And so he said, I'm gonna take a look out. I'm gonna look out or whatever. And he says, Dex asked him, how is Brando? And he says he's awake and everything. That's great. And Dex was like, yeah. And I said, Are y'all trying to set this up where Dex is the one who's doing this? Is that his way of like getting revenge? I said, because if it is, they're gonna try to blame Sonny for this when really it was Michael who brought him in. I don't know, y'all. This went from me thinking that Dex and Christina and Josh was gonna fight it out over the Dex to now it's like, wait, is Dex a serial attempted well, a failure as a serial killer unless they kill Brandon. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's move on. So then Norman. So Sonny talks to Nina and she tells him that excuse me, that she is he she says, what's that phone call about when she heard with Dex? And he says, I need to beef up security and everything. And she says, okay. And he says, I don't want to scare you. She said, you're not. And he says, you know, with my business, she said, listen, Sonny, I understand and I'm in it for the long haul with you. So, whatever I have to do or we have to do, that's what we're gonna do. And she give him a smooch, and that's it. Nina said, anyways, y'all. Then we go to Jordan and Curtis. I said, Jordan, please stop talking to this man. She said, Curtis, can I talk to you? And he was like, what's up? And she said, I just wanted to apologize for earlier and everything that's going on. He said, I already told you we're good. And she says, but are we though? She said, because I know Portia's upset with me and you're acting like you're upset with me and everything. And then I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Curtis thinks that Jordan still wants him. He flat out said it today. He said, I know you said you were busy and you were going to the clinic or everything, but you always cross your eyes. Wait, cross your T's and dot your I's. Dot your I's and cross your T's. So it's funny to me that you didn't sign the divorce papers. So did you not do it? Turn them in because you want us to still be married? You don't want the divorce? And I said, sir. And Jordan said, I can't believe you asking me this. I said, sir, this girl don't want you. Jordan, go ahead and where are the papers? Where are the papers? Girl, if you don't go and get those papers and be like, come on, and let's sign them, and here, you can have them, and you turn them in. Because, Curtis, you could have easily turned those papers in as well. Like, stop it. So, anyways, child, that's it on that. So, then we go to Sasha and Breno, and she's just like so happy Breno is up, and he's been coughing the whole time or whatever, but he's still been good. And so, she's just telling him, I'm just so happy, and I'm gonna do right, and we're gonna be good, and we got a second chance. And so she kisses him, and in the middle of kissing him, he breaks away and he starts coughing. Now she's looked concerned. This is a second time looking concerned about it. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry to ruin that moment. And then he looks down at his hand and he sees he's coughing up blood. And y'all, that was General Hospital Day. I said, Lord, I mean, y'all said Brando was supposed to be leaving Tuesday. I just can't believe it. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for a new episode of What Happened on the Soap General Hospital edition. Thank you for watching.